All right, let's talk about how to get the Rupture Cannon. It's a sidearm, little handgun here in Remnant 2. I actually really like this thing. I think it's a really fun little like pocket shotgun. It has a great mag size for it, you know, compared to something like the double-barreled shotgun handgun as well. That one only has 2 shots in the mag. This one has the potential to outdamage it. I also like to run the targeting jewel, which helps with the spread and range on top of that. Plus, it's highly adaptable. You can put any mods you want on this thing. So let's talk about where to get it. So this comes from a specific dungeon on Neyrud. So you're going to have to check your world, and if it's not there, you're going to have to re-roll it, probably in adventure mode for ease of use, and go find it. So we spawn a new world here. We are looking for the Vault of the Formless side dungeon. It'll be marked by an arched doorway, not a rectangular one, as a arched doorway signifies a side dungeon, not a main path. Now I just re-rolled Neyrud, and I'm here. The very first thing I do when I come out of Seeker's Rest is I check the map. Okay, because this is going to give me the lay of the land. And I know a couple of things off the bat that are going to help me narrow down my search. First and foremost, I know that at the very northern tip of this map, that's not a dungeon. That is the final boss for this world, because I spawned at Seeker's Rest. I know that that's where Shahala is. I also know that on the top left corner of the map, that's not a dungeon. That's the Custodian's Tower, because we've got that emblem of the guy with the hands up and down, so I can narrow that one off my list. I know that the tendril pointing to the right of this left wasteland here, the tendril pointing to the right is not a dungeon, not a side dungeon. That's a main path that will take me over to the other wasteland. So when I spawn on this side, I know the only place that a side dungeon can spawn is the little tendril to my upper left when I first come out of here. So that'll help you narrow down your search. If I check that and it is not Vault of the Formless, which is what we're after, then I will go to the tendril that points over to the other wasteland, travel across, and check all those tendrils as well. So that's how you can sort of save yourself a little bit of time running around in the fog. So very first thing I'm going to do is kind of run over to the left, trying to level up some other classes that I don't use while I search for things like this. I'm going to run over to my left to that only tendril that has the potential to be a side dungeon and see what we find. Now at this point, I had re-rolled probably about half a dozen times. I think this is about my 6th time re-rolling Neyrud looking for the Vault of the Formless. And I cleared both sides of the wasteland every time and was not fortunate enough to get it. And this particular time I did get pretty lucky, as it was on the beginning side of the wasteland. So searching this left tendril, find a little indentation in the ground, go down. Here's my arched doorway, which takes me to a side dungeon. Go on through it. And when I come out the other side, I'm lucky enough to get Vault of the Formless. This is the only dungeon that this specific gun can spawn in. So we're going to make our way through this dungeon all the way to the final checkpoint that is right before the sort of, it's not a boss, but it's like the final encounter. And that's where we need to be. So you'll go tag that checkpoint, walk through the fog door, and begin the final engagement here. So when we walk through, we're going to be in this big room where there's going to be this arm that's coming down, and it's constantly going to be rotating a few different pillars. And as that happens, you see this big orange orb to my right. That pillar is going to turn and open up a doorway for me to walk through. We need to get down to the second pillar. So we're going to wait here on this platform until this door next to me turns and opens up. We'll head through that hallway and into the next section. We want to get down to the second pillar. So here the thing is being rotated. It opens up a hallway for me to run through. We don't want to stay here, book it straight through. This is going to take you to an elevator that's going to take you down to the second level below. Once you take that elevator down, you're going to end up in this area here, the second level down, and there's going to be another pillar that spins with a hallway inside of it. Now, this is where we want to be. This second pillar, when it rotates, we're going to step inside of it, but then we're going to sit tight and wait for a couple of minutes inside of it and just chill. Because we want it to turn another time to reveal a secret hallway that is not on the mini-map, so you don't know that it's there until you actually step into it. So here the pillar is rotating, opening up for me to step inside. Now don't run out the other side. We just want to chill right here. And it's going to be maybe close to a minute, minute and a half that we're just going to be sitting. You know, you might even think, am I even in the right spot? You are. Just sit tight. Okay, just sit tight. This arm is going to go rotate the other columns, and it's going to come back to this one. And when it comes back to this one, it's going to spin us to open up a new hallway. So we're just big chilling. And eventually it comes back to us. It rotates this column again, And here it will reveal to us a hidden hallway that was not on the minimap until we step into it. This is where we want to be. Right here to our left is a little room with the House of Lythla glyph. This is a key that will open up a door after this whole like boss encounter is over. So then exit through the only pathway ahead of you. It'll eventually take you down to the bottom of this encounter where you'll have sort of a horde mode where you'll have to fight off some adds and kill an elite, and then that will end the encounter. Once it's done, you'll get a new trait. You'll be able to open this door behind you, interact with the console to do so. And when this door opens, you'll see a glass wall, a window in front of you, and on the other side, you can see the Rupture Cannon just sitting in that pod. Well, luckily we picked up that glyph, we can now open this door. So come over and interact with it. You're going to select the glyph as the key to open it. The door will open for us. We simply walk in and pick up the Rupture Cannon from where it lies. Walk around to the left, it's just sitting in this pod for us. Thar she be. Approacheth and receiveth. You now have the Rupture Cannon, congratulations. Like I said, I do really like this gun. I think it's a fun little handgun to use. I do like the mag size on it as well as its versatility, being able to throw on any mod we want on there. So good luck in finding the Vault of the Formless and getting this gun for yourself.